established rich coming right back at you. Sean Gathright got on that stand, talking like a man who wanted the courtroom to believe he was taking accountability. Then the case ends, the sentence comes down, the Instagram page pops up, the fundraiser starts moving, and now the message is he maintains his innocence. So which one is it? Because accountability and innocence don't sit in the same chair. You can appeal your case, you can fight your conviction, you can exhaust every legal option the system allows you to use. But don't stand in front of people talking about accountability, then turn around and let the public message become, I'm innocent. That's not accountability, that's narrative management. And that's the part of this whole situation that makes my damn skin crawl. Because a lot of people thought after he was found guilty and sentenced to life without parole, he was gonna fade into the system quietly. But now it looks like he's trying to turn a life sentence into a public campaign. A page, a fundraiser, a message, a journey. And I'm sitting here like, bro, this is not a rebrand. This is a murder case.
Are you remorseful as you were running back with that AR-15 in your hands?
Like I said, I try to remember nothing from that night.
Was it traumatic to you as you went back to the car with that AR-15? Was it still smoking? Was it still warm in your hands from firing it?
Sustain the objection.
Were you feeling remorse as you were getting back into the Impala?
Like I said, I just try to focus on today and moving forward.
You dropped the Impala, the one that had all of these shooters in it, the one that was utilized in this murder, that was such a vital cog in this plan. You dropped it at your grandmother's house in Auburndale, didn't you?
I'm here to testify about today.
Are you going to answer that question, or are you going to avoid it? Because that's not what I asked what you were doing here today. I think we all understand what you're here to do today, what you're testifying about. I'm asking you specifically about your remorse. Were you remorseful when you dropped that car off and left it at your grandmother's house in Auburndale?
I did go to my grandmother's house.
Were you feeling remorse when you hugged her and got into the 4Runner and left her with the Impala after you wiped it down?
Sir, I'm just telling you that today I would like to express my remorse to the family and to the court.
I understand what you're trying to do today. I'm asking you, since you're trying to convince this jury that you're remorseful, were you feeling remorse that next day or later that day?
Watching him on the stand, I didn't see a man broken by the weight of what happened. I saw a man trying to control the room one more time. Hey, that's my opinion. I think he believed he could get up there, sound young, sound regretful, and maybe move somebody just enough to save his life. That's the danger with people who know how to perform emotion. They don't always need you to believe everything. They just need you to have a reasonable doubt. And that's why this whole I maintain my innocence after the fact is crazy to me. Because if that was your position, then what was that courtroom accountability moment supposed to be? Was it real? Or was it the best strategy for that moment? That's the question. And I know his family loves him. I know his girlfriend loves him. I know people close to him probably see a version that most of us never see. But love does not rewrite a verdict. Love don't erase a dead body. Love does not give you the right to turn the person convicted into the center of all the sympathy while the victim becomes a footnote. That's where I got a problem. Because the language around Sean is soft. He's young. He's loved. He has potential. He deserves redemption. But what about the life that got taken? What about the family that don't get a journey update? What about the people that don't get to wait on appeals, fundraisers, and second chances because their loved one is gone? That's the part these posts don't sit with long enough. They want you to feel the weight of his sentence more than you feel the weight of a death. I can't rock with that.
I don't remember these days in detail, how I was feeling, what I was thinking.
What about later that night when you went to Orlando? Were you feeling remorse when you were out partying at Club Parlay, celebrating what you had done that day?
That was my sister's birthday party.
What did you feel any remorse while you were drinking Don Julio tequila and putting that in your video and throwing gang signs?
I'm here to testify about today, sir. We've all seen the evidence. We've all reviewed everything.
Mr. Chance, it's not time for you now to make speeches. You've politely answered your counsel's questions. Can you not answer the state's questions? Is there something about my question you don't understand?
I was getting to.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gathright. I called you Mr. Chance. Excuse me.
I was getting to my answer. Like I said, I've seen all the evidence.
Well, we've all seen all the evidence. right?
Yes, sir. That's true.
And after all that evidence came in, and this jury based their true verdict on that, convicting you, now you're taking accountability? Is that correct?
Sustain the objection.
This is why the cross-examination matters. Because when somebody has a speech ready, they can sound one way. When pressure gets applied, you start seeing if those words can hold up. And the thing about accountability is simple. It don't need perfect words. It don't need a public relations team. It don't need a Bible verse at the end of a fundraiser. It needs the truth, and that's it. If you did wrong, just say you did wrong, and people probably will still help you out just because you are young. If you destroyed a life, you say you destroyed a life. If you cause damage that can never be fixed, you don't try to make yourself look like the biggest victim in the story. That's why this whole thing feels wrong, because the moment you say he maintains his innocence, the redemption talk starts sounding hollow. Redemption for what? If you innocent, then you don't need redemption from the act. You need exoneration. But if you're talking about accountability, then you can't keep hiding behind innocence when it's time to get support. That's a contradiction. And that contradiction is the whole story. Not the fundraiser, not the page, not the pretty words, the contradiction. Because people keep trying to use emotional language to blur something that should be crystal clear. Did you take accountability? Or are you maintaining innocence? And let me be clear about something. I believe in God. I believe in mercy. I believe people can change even in the worst circumstances. But I do not like when people use God language to make consequences look like persecution. That's where a lot of people lose me, because God is not a cover-up. God is not a brand strategy. God is not a way to make people stop asking hard questions. If you really believe in redemption, then you got to start with the truth, even when the truth makes you look terrible. That's the part people don't like. They want the comfort of mercy without the pain of honesty. It don't work like that. And that's why I keep coming back to that one line. Sean maintains his innocence. That one line changes the whole temperature, because now it don't feel like a young man facing the full weight of what happened. It feels like a man still trying to find a door out of the story. And I understand appeals are part of the system. I understand that people fight even after a conviction. But the public also has a right to look at the message and say, sit your ass down somewhere. Because you can't ask for people's prayers, money, mercy, and sympathy while the family is still living with the consequences of what you did. That's a lot to ask. And the way this thing is being framed makes it feel like Sean is the one we're supposed to feel sorry for first. The first loss in this story was not his freedom. The first loss was the life that was taken. That's got to stay in the front, because once we start centering the person convicted more than the person who died, we start losing the moral weight of the whole conversation. And that's how this street culture keeps tricking people. It makes the consequences feel more tragic than the action. It makes the sentence feel more important than the body. It makes people say, damn, he only 20. But the question is, how old was the person who lost their future? How much life did they have left? How many things will they never get to do? That's why this ain't the moment to turn Sean into a symbol of lost potential without talking about the potential that was completely erased on the other side.
What's up, everybody? It's Sean. I'm just reaching out to y'all, just to give y'all a quick update about my situation. Right now, they got me in confinement. It's just a protocol thing after Friday, but I should be out of here soon, and, reaching back out to everybody. I've seen, I've heard that, a lot of y'all have been reaching out to my Instagram page at the official Sean G. This is my real page. This is the page that I will be, communicating to the outside world from, through my management team and stuff like that. I really appreciate all the messages and, all the comments and the likes, shares and the donations. It means more than y'all can understand. Like, it truly means a lot in a difficult time like this. We all know that God has the last word, and I just really appreciate y'all for seeing me in a different light. Y'all will be hearing from me soon. Like I said, I just have to get out of confinement, take a couple days, but I appreciate y'all. I love every single one of y'all, and yeah, that's it. Thank you.
This is the part that really feels strange. He's talking like there's about to be updates, like people should stay tuned, like this is a new chapter people need to follow. And maybe that's the world we live in now. Everything becomes content, even a life sentence, even a murder case, even a man speaking from behind walls after the court has decided he will never walk out. That's what makes this era so disturbing. People don't just want freedom no more. They want a platform. They want a narrative. They want control of how the world sees them, even after the facts have already been presented in court. And I think that's what we're seeing here. A man who lost in court, but still thinks he can win on the internet. That's a dog thing to watch. Because if he was really sitting in accountability, I don't think the first energy would be follow my journey. I think the energy would be silence, reflection, the kind of weight that makes a person stop performing for people. But that's not what this feels like. This feels like he still believes there's an audience he can work. And that's why I can't shake the word manipulation, because every version of this story seems to shift depending on what Sean needs. In court, he needed mercy. Online, he needs support. For the fundraiser, he needs sympathy. For the future, he needs people to believe there's more to the story. But what about the story that already ended for Julio Fulio? When does that stay centered? When does that get more attention than Sean's journey? That's the part I want people to think about, because there's a very real danger in letting convicted people turn their cases into personal brains. Everybody deserves basic human dignity. Everybody has legal rights. But not everybody deserves to be repackaged as the main character of a redemption story while still denying responsibility for their actions. That's where I draw the line. And this whole situation should be a warning to all y'all young dudes who think the streets love you. The streets will gas you up, push you toward destruction, and then leave your family trying to raise money while the world debates whether you deserve mercy or not. That's the part they don't show you. They don't show you the appeal fund. They don't show you your people trying to explain your character to strangers. They don't show you how fast stand on business turn to please donate. That's the real end of this road. And what makes it sadder is that none of this brings anybody back. No appeals bring the victim back. No fundraiser brings the victim back. So before anybody asks the public to focus on Sean's future, they need to remember that there was a future that was already taken. And that's why this message about him maintaining his innocence is so hard to swallow, because it makes all that accountability talk feel like a role he was playing when he needed it. And if that's the case, then this whole thing is even uglier than people realize. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe. Establish Rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.